All right. Um, Hello everyone. Welcome to Bright Hill Podcast once again. Wishing you a Merry Christmas in advance. Um, Isaac, I think this is the second episode we'll be releasing this month, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's about right.
yeah. Thank you very much for listening to our, podcast. We appreciate it. We're getting, listens, feedback from people where areas we can do better. And yeah, I mean, Isaac is even in the mood already. Look at his background. He's in the Isaac was with interesting
Yeah, it's in the Christmas
background
spirit.
today.
So we have to promote Christmas now, and we're already in the Christmas spirit already. I mean, this is 13th as a day of this recording is 13th of December. So I mean, we're closer to Christmas than we can be. So happy Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
Christmas is I think Christmas was on a Thursday, so maybe you might hear this episode on a Thursday. Who knows? So Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. So yeah, let's get into it, right? This topic, the topic we're talking today is quite interesting because thinking about it is something that can come in handy during this festive period, right? We are talking about criminal proceeding, criminal trial. I'm not wishing anybody bad luck, right? But you know, uh, it's a period where people usually fall into the hands of security agencies. Yeah, and some people don't even know how to even handle the situation at that point in time. So let's start from here, right? We'll make the conversation a bit engaging today. Uh, in simple time, Isaac, what's like criminal proceeding or trial? How does it go?
All right. So criminal proceedings and trials involve the step-by-step procedure of of the court, of a judge, or the trial, the process in which a person is either found guilty or innocent of an allegation of crime against them. Right. So a person is brought before a judge and charged to court. I think that's usually the word that resonates with most people. I'll charge you to court. So a person is usually charged to court on the allegation of an offense. Could be, different offenses: stealing, murder, cultism, housebreaking, burglary, and things like that. Someone is arraigned before a court and the charges are read to them and the prosecution proves their case and the person enters their defense and judgment is given. So that's basically what a criminal proceedings entails in court. But before there is a whole court process, or there is a whole court procedure, there is also the preliminaries before that. That's when arrests are made. What happens in that process? What is the police supposed to do? What are they not supposed to do while a suspect is in their custody? How are they supposed to question them? How are they supposed to do their investigations? What are your rights as a citizen? Should, in case you fall into a situation like that where you are suspected of committing a crime, what are your rights? Does the law give you rights? How can you enforce them? What are the things that protect you? What are the laws that protect you? So this is what we're going to talk about in today's episode. We'll talk about the criminal procedure, criminal proceedings from the point of arrest up until the um, court proceedings.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. So let's take it from here, right? Talking about arrest, because I think that's the last thing you even mentioned. Uh, what are what does it entail really? Because I was having a conversation with someone sometimes back that the person actually like was convinced that you actually need arrest warrant in all situation before you can arrest someone, right? What does the law really say about this? Or what are the situations where the arrest warrant thing can be waived?
All right, okay, that's a very good question. Yeah, most people have that misconception that for any arrest to be made by any security official, by the police, EFCC, or whatever, you need an arrest warrant. and it has been popularized by movies, both Hollywood and Hollywood. That hey, before you arrest me, let me see your warrant. You have a warrant for my arrest. If you don't have a warrant, get out of my house. If you don't have a warrant, get out of my face. That's not usually so. And in Nigeria's case, in the case of Police Force Nigeria, yes, there are instances where warrants are needed, but not in all cases, especially where the person or the officer or the official who is going to arrest you sees that you committed the crime in their presence. They do not need a warrant for that. Usually, that is what they rely on. Or on suspicion. You may arrest on suspicion, although that is wrong. You can't arrest on suspicion, but they may bring you in for questioning. When they see, there's they profile people their, you know, based on their training. Perhaps they are looking for a suspect. And sometimes that's why they do some of these roadblocks on roads, and they search. They tell you to come down. They want to look at you. They want to see your ID. Usually, things like that are within their powers as security officials. And some
Mm.
people, I mean, I get that. Some people may see a security officer may tell them, or a police officer may tell them, hey, open your bag. I want to see what's in your bag. And they get offended and be like, you don't have a search warrant for my bag. Well, they do not need a search warrant to search you or your bag or um your person necessary. They do not need a search warrant for that. The law is clear on that. But for them to arrest you, if they see something incriminating in your bag or on your person, they have the power to arrest you without a warrant. When it comes to arresting with a warrant involves perhaps there is a currently pending investigation that is going on in secret and they do not want to tip you off, or they are trying to get where you are. And sometimes if a person has already even been arraigned in court and refuses to show up in court, the judge may order a bench warrant against that person. So that bench warrant is also a form of warrant in which someone who is not present before the court, someone who is not around, can be arrested based on that document. And then there's also this principle that security officials rely upon: rights of ingress and egress. So that means that should they let's say they are trying to hunt down a suspect and they are chasing after him and he runs into an apartment, they have the right to also run in after that person into the apartment. They do not need a search warrant to arrest someone that they saw run into an apartment. And usually that is what they like to rely upon. In fact, very rare occasions do police officers or EFCC officials get search warrants. They will rather come to say they are coming to arrest you based on maybe the information they got or maybe based on the arrest warrant they got. And then in that process of trying to arrest, they also do their search. So they kill two birds with one stone instead of going back, okay, we want an arrest warrant or a search warrant. So things like that. Although they do not do them by the book. They do not necessarily do them by the book. But then again, the law under the Evidence Act should let's say they get something incriminating against you, the law would weigh that evidence in which they want to use against you against the undesirability of how it was obtained. For example, let's say the police on suspicion without a warrant um, break into someone's house to arrest him for maybe say another crime. Maybe say they suspected he was stealing and they broke into his house without a warrant, that's a search warrant. And while they broke into his house, they discovered that that person had dead bodies in his cupboard. Maybe the person is a ritualist or the person is a the organ harvester or something like that. And you take this before the court, and the person is saying, "Hey, these people didn't have a warrant to come into my house. They didn't have a warrant to search my premises, and yet they did. So we cannot even allow this evidence that they got while they did something illegal. Cannot allow it into evidence against me." The court to think, the court is allowed to think, which one would be better? Would it be to let you go scot free on the basis of the fact that these guys didn't do it by the book, or to use this evidence against you if we weigh it, which one is actually worse? The fact that they caught you with this these very serious activities, or that they didn't do it according to um, the way they are supposed to do it. So they will weigh those two options and decide that, hey, I think we can all rest easy if you are actually locked up based on this evidence that wasn't obtained properly. So basically, that is some of how it goes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for that insight. So, so here is it, right? Uh, rights. There are certain rights. Whether arrested people, have. Um, can you just run us through some of these rights? In brief, I know they're quite a number, but you can just highlight, some of the important ones, right? For people to understand and have a context into.
Okay. So one of the rights a person that has been arrested has is right to legal representation. You have the right to a lawyer. You have the right to get legal representation at the point of your arrest. And usually, when you are arrested, you would be asked to make a statement or give a statement of your version of the event. You should not be forced or tortured or subject to inhumane treatment to make a a statement that incriminates you or is against your will or it's not something that you want to say. Usually the police or the EFCC may torture some people or there have been reports, not an accusation on my end. There have been substantiated reports and um, human rights fundamental rights enforcement at the High Court and so on over the years, where they have done forcefully made people write confessional statements. And one of the rights that people or suspects have when they are in custody is that they should not be made to give their statements involuntarily. So one of your rights, you have the right to have a legal practitioner with you while you're making your statement. Another right is that you have the right to remain silent, not to give your statement if you do not wish to give your statement. But usually, in reality, if you say, if you're saying this is what the law says, what applies in reality may be different. In Nigeria, if you tell a police officer that you are not giving your statement, they will see it as you being difficult or as you
They will
being
beat you up.
yeah, they may beat you. In fact, they will say I went for I tried to do a client the other day, and he was saying, "Well, I cannot say I cannot give you an accurate this thing because my our legal team will get back to you." And the police officer was like, "Are you trying to say that you are not ready to talk? Is that what you are?
Imagine.
Is
You
that
can
what you
imagine
are
what the
saying?" I knew
hell.
when he was talking in that tone, I knew that okay, no, it's about to get down. He said, are you saying that you are not ready to talk? No problem. I was like, say, bro, I understand what you are trying to say, but trust me, this is not in the movie. You cannot say you're not. You cannot say you're not going to say anything at all to the police. They see it as like, oh, you're trying to so difficult, and we will show you. And they will show you. They will show you. They will lock you up in jail, which is wrong, of course. But by the time they finally get you released and you've suffered a little bit and we go to court, it's going to take a lot of stress and it's a lot of process and it's a long journey actually to enforce rights and it's not something that I'm happy to say happens in Nigeria. But yeah, you have the right to remain silent, but it's preferable if you don't. But again, you should have a lawyer with you. Should you ever go to the police station for anything at all? And usually, the police, if it's not a serious offense, usually the police would send you an invitation letter. They will send you an invitation letter. Hey, come to our office at so time on the allegation of this crime. Sometimes they will not even put the crime there. We just say come to our office at so time to answer some questions based on an investigation. If you are invited like that, please contact a lawyer immediately. Should I go? What should I bring along when I'm going? It's going to we're going to advise you on the steps to take. And if you will not be chance to go on that day, perhaps it's inconvenient for you. Don't just ghost them. It's not advisable to ghost them at all. Do not just ghost them. Rather, get your lawyer to write a letter to them, informing them about the inconvenience of the time they have set, and propose another date to come back or to come to see them. So, if it's not convenient for you, give them another date. Usually, they might, and they like to send out invitation letters on weekends. So, it's not on weekends, on Fridays or Thursday, Fridays, and which is very risky because if you are in custody, if you decide to lock you up in custody on Fridays, you won't be out till Monday. And it's even more dangerous during this festive period because once you are in and they are on holidays, you might not get out until the new year. So if you are planning to do anything adventurous, anything like that during this holiday period, advise you, I really advise you not to. So first step,
Yeah.
if you are ever invited by the police and by an invitation letter, honor it if it's convenient for you on that day. If it is not, write to them through your lawyer that you would like to come on another day and suggest that day that you would like to come. And when you go there, go with your lawyer. If they ask you to bring along any documents, take copies along with you. I mean, follow the instructions of the lawyer. He will know what's best for you. And yeah, so that's basically it.
Well, I mean, Isaac, you've even answered a lot of my questions already, right? Um, you've covered the most extensive rights or the most important rights. Sorry. There was an incident that happened like about 2 years ago. A client at that time was arrested, and or I think he was invited for questioning. Then from there, he was arrested. Then he was in jail. As at today, we don't even know where he is. It's so bad that uh, the wife is unsure whether to move on with her life or maybe get married or something. You know, he has a daughter. I guess the daughter was even just born shortly after he was arrested. These are situations where when there are inadequacies in the judicial system, these are the problem it develops. It's not just you look at it from like a national level. It's as simple as destroying homes. When people are arrested unlawfully. I know Isaac. I think Isaac states something about um 24-48 hours, that you are meant to be, taken to the closest courts, arraigned in the closest courts within a specific period of time.
Yeah,
These are some of the laws that the Constitution provides for, Or will you go into it briefly, right?
yeah. I mean, you've already said that. I mean, if someone is arrested by a police or by a security agency, the typical time frame, if they are not going to release them, is to take them to the courts within 24 hours after they've been arrested, or where the court is a distance from the station within 48 hours. That's the longest they are allowed to detain you or hold you. So if they don't do that, they are, of course, infringing on your rights to fair hearing or to be charged in a court of competent jurisdiction for what they are alleging you to have committed. So they are supposed to actually take you to court where your bail will be applied for by your lawyer and you would be granted, depending on, of course, depending on the offense in question, you might be granted bail and then you will be coming from home. If the court is required to grant you bail, you'll be coming from home to court to come and answer the allegations and the trial will start. And the way criminal proceedings is, it is a prosecution or the person who is accusing you of committing a crime that has the duty to prove it. So if they said you stole something, you have to prove that you stole something. So that is, I think that's why some Nigerians don't necessarily get it when a criminal has been set or someone is suspected to be a criminal is set free or is discharged and acquitted. They don't get it. Why? This
Like
person
the
almost
Bello incident, right?
even not necessarily on the Arabelo incident. I mean, there are some other ones, especially when the crime in question is something quite emotional and it's
Yeah,
touching and people can resonate with it and feel pain, and then when the person walks through it feels like injustice, and then the allegations of, oh, the judge must have been corrupt, they must have bribed him, and then it's not in all cases. In fact, it's not in most cases if you understand how the judicial system works. Because if an allegation is made against someone is taken to court over um the allegation of a crime, it has to be proven. For
mm,
example, let's say they accuse me of stealing a car. Now, one of the elements of stealing is that the car must have belonged to someone, and it must have been capable, and it's only things that belong to people that are capable of being stolen, right? So the car must have
right.
belonged to someone, and it must have been taken by me with the intention of not returning it back. So
Yeah.
you have to now bring the person who the car belongs to court. That's one. Then perhaps also bring the said car to court. And sometimes it may be impossible to bring the car, perhaps after they've collected the car or they've seized it, they should bring pictures of the car. That's another vital one. And then the person whom the car belongs to should also be in court to testify to the fact that, hey, this car belongs to me and this person stole it. So these elements have to be present. So usually the person um, who the car belongs to has to give his own evidence. They have to show pictures of, hey, this is the picture of the car. Where was the car on that day that it was stolen? Who saw him while he was stealing it? Was he did he intend to actually steal it? If it was, let's say you are the owner of the car, let's say Korede is the owner of the car, and me and Korede had already had a conversation before that, hey, he's going to borrow me his car to take to maybe to take somewhere, and I will return it to him. And I did just that. I took the car. But perhaps Korede forgot that I was supposed to take the car up. Or perhaps Korede wanted to set me up and decided to report me to the police and say, hey, this guy stole my car. And I don't even know him from Adam. And he comes with his own evidence saying he doesn't know me. I stole his car. I did not intend to return it. And then I also, in my own defense, say, hey, we had this conversation. You said I can borrow your car. So it now has left, the element, the arena of who you stole it to. There was a prior conversation. So sometimes criminal matters go like that. There's someone who said something, who made an allegation. He has to prove that that allegation is true, and
Yeah.
then when they have discharged their burden of proof, you now would enter your defense and say, "Hey, this is not how we went down. What they are saying is a lie. This is my own version of the event." And you have for their case to succeed, it has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. So
Mm,
there cannot be any doubt in the judge's mind that this person did it. Like, just think about it. If there's any other explanation that this person did not do this thing, or if there's any other logical explanation that this person did not do this particular offense, then that means they're not guilty. That's just how it works. So
mm,
that's why, I mean, if you look at even the Nnamdi Kanu case, I mean, a lot of people were saying, oh, he didn't, it was not fair. I mean, if you look at it, Kanu didn't even enter his defense. He didn't even refute the evidence of the prosecution. He didn't refute it. He didn't object to it by calling his own witnesses or giving his own evidence. So, and when you do that, if someone says, "Oh, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this," and you did not counter it, or and they have already proved their case beyond reasonable doubt, I mean, there's no other explanation, and you refuse to cast your own um, light upon it with your own defense to, kind of create a kind of disbelief into their own case, then it's not going to work. And that's why sometimes you feel like, oh, these guilty people are walking free, and it is the judge that is to blame. Or sometimes it's the prosecution that is to blame. Sometimes prosecution didn't do their jobs properly. Sometimes they don't bring evidence that they are supposed to bring, and because of that, the guilty walk free. And the way our judicial system says it is that It is better that than that 10 people, that 10 guilty people walk free than for one innocent man to be sentenced for a crime he did not commit. It is better. In fact, the whole system is to protect the innocent man. So if some of the guilty people get away with it, it is still something we can live with than for an innocent person to be caught in the wheels of injustice and be sentenced for a crime he did not commit. That is just how
It's
that's the
what
whole view of our jurisprudence, of our criminal jurisprudence. Yes.
Isaac has taken us. He has taken us on a criminal law master class. You know, dropping one or two things. These are interesting conversation we have. Insightful content we have, and I don't think most lawyers will go into these issues deep as we do. Um, so you know, let's run this right. I think we should talk about bail. I know there are different kinds, um, and different circumstance or period each of these kind of bill can come into play. So, what can you say about bail? What can you know say in essence?
Okay, so bail essentially means that there are two types of bail. There is the administrative bail that's usually given by the security outfit that arrested the person, and there's the one that is granted by the court. So if let's say the police or EFCC invite someone or arrest someone for the suspicion of an offense or for a crime, they can also release that person on bail with the condition that that person will come back whenever called upon to help with the investigation or for further questioning. So instead of detaining that person in a cell or being held in their custody, they allow that person to go and come back whenever they deem it fit. So it is more convenient on the suspect end to come and go, to come and go, to come and go. So usually them and they give conditions for it. They may tell you to provide a level 12 civil servant. They may tell you that the as a shorty, someone to stand for you in case they can't find you. And often, more often than not, people make mistakes being shorties for other people. It's not usually a wise idea for you to stand as a shorty for someone that you do not know with absolute certainty. I mean, I wouldn't advise you to stand as a shorty for someone who isn't your family or who isn't your very, very, very and emphasis on very, very close friend. Because
Like
people get
son,
like your
father,
family,
mother.
yeah, like your family, your father, your son, your brother, your
That one
sister,
you don't
your
have choice.
whole family. You don't have choice. Who else is going to stand as their shorty? Low key, there's some people that do it as a service,
Business.
as a business, as a business. So that's even advisable because
That is
if the
the
suspect runs away, the shorty is the person they're going to arrest next, and the shorty isn't going to be released to anybody unless they get that suspect back. Yeah, people have gotten in trouble for that thing before in the past. They stand in as a shorty for someone who was arrested by the police or AFCC, and the person runs away. And let's say the person is suspected of committing fraud involving huge sums of money, millions. They are not going to. They will tell you the money that the person could. You want us to release you, you're going to pay it, and then you can go, or you can either get that person arrested. Maybe your family should go and sort that one out. That get that person arrested, and you're not going anywhere. So they mean release they will not release the shorty. So it's very advisable. If you're going to stand in for someone, let it be someone you can trust and someone that you know with absolute certainty will run away on you. And someone that is a close family friend or family member. So yes,
yeah.
there's the administrative bill, which the EFCC, the police, the maybe civil defense and the rest will give, and they let the person go and come back and go and come back. And there's also the one that the court itself would give. So where a suspect has been arrested for 48 hours, 24 hours, and the police has refused to release them on bail because there are some offenses that the police is not capable of granting bail for. So they take those people to court. Some of those offenses are capital offenses like murder, like kidnapping, probably other serious offenses, other felonies like capital offenses like murder as well. Maybe being arrested with arms and being caught in possession of arms and so on. Someone like that is not going to get bail at the police station. Person will
Yeah,
have to be taken
don't
to
pass
court.
police service.
You don't pass police matter. You don't pass police matter. The person have to be taken to the court, and the courts would have to be the one to decide that. And even that is very unlikely because there are also conditions in which the court will consider in order to grant the person bail. Because that kind of a
Mm,
case that is a flight risk, right? Unless the person is someone that cannot run away as a result of maybe his ties to the community or his self-recognizance and so on. So the court would also give their own um, their own conditions for the bill. Court can also say it has to be a someone who is a blood relative that has landed property in that state or in that area, that has a tax clearance of certain number of years, that is a level something civil servant, so something like that. So someone that is high up there, which they know that okay, we can find you, and then they will go and know the shorty's house. They will go and know his probably his workplace. They'll get his work ID, his national ID, so that they can ascertain. So those are the two types of bail: the police one or the administrative one by maybe the ESCC, DSS, and whatever, and the one that is issued by the court. So those are the two types of bail that we have.
well, I was almost tempted to ask Isaac if in any situation if he's going to stand as shorty for me, and I don't want to get the answer from him. I don't want to get the answer from him. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah. Uh,
So we just hope that you don't fall into situations like that, right? But if that happens, right? For in the last 25, 30 minutes that we've been talking about, steps to take. There are so many steps you can take. But one thing is always constant, is engaging your lawyer. You understand? No matter the level of education or experience you have, there are just some, critical matters that you cannot, you know, you know, handle. In fact, let me even tell you for a fact, in police, security agency matter, so a lot of lawyers even shy away from it. They run from it. They avoid it. I won't lie, because of it requires a bit of experience, some technicalities, some know-how to deal with this situation, also in line with the law. I think we'll wrap it up here. Wrap things up here. We still have, interesting, content coming along the way. We decided to, put this out, to educate people on, how criminal system works in the country. I even think that is one area that should be taught thoroughly in our basic education. You understand? Even this topic we're having, there's nothing wrong in having this conversation with children so that they can know the consequences of bad action. Uh, yeah, except Isaac has something to add.
no, no. I think they said it all. That
Yeah.
part where you said talk to children so that they can know the repercussions of bad actions. I remember when my church organized the prison outreach, and I went to prison for the first time. And
Oh,
I saw the criminal behind bars. I mean, that was no way. That is no way to live. So, yeah.
in the Lauren,
So
right?
yeah, in Loring. I mean, they used to love it then because they would bring rice. That was probably the only time in the year that they would eat good food. So
Mm.
I mean, they used to look forward to it.
I mean,
So
you just take them to just take children self to prisons enough.
yeah, no, just taking them, let them see the reality. And if you want prisons to be, you do not want to be in a prison in Nigeria. Trust me, you do not want to
Yeah,
be there. It
it's
is
not the stuff you see on
it
TV.
is not it is not yellow is the new black. It is not it is not yellow is the new black. It's not like this
Playing
the
basketball,
prison. Nah, bro, it is the
3 square
absolute
meals.
one. if a hell exists, it exists in Nigerian prisons. Trust me, that
Yeah.
is terrible.
So yeah, thank you very much, Isaac.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
wrap
you.
it up here. Thank you very much for engaging and listening to our content. Please do well to comment, subscribe, share. Also rate us on Spotify too. Super important. That's the only way it can you know, reach out to more people, right? So yeah, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.